Yes, y'all. Thank you for coming and joining us again this week. We're always glad to have you in my kitchen. Today we're making some Greek lemon potatoes. And what else are we making? Alabama white sauce. So what we're doing is we're bringing Greece and Alabama together, just in the way we also say yassas, y'all. Greek, yassas, meaning hello or goodbye, and of course y'all, Southern. So this is what we're doing in our dish today. Greek potatoes with Alabama white sauce on the side. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so Ava's over here and she's gonna squeeze fresh lemons. Now let me start off by saying, the amount of potatoes that I'm cooking aren't necessarily gonna be the same amount they're cooking, because I'm cooking 8 pounds of potatoes. That's a lot of potatoes, but you know, we like them. Plus I have a son, your dad.
I have a dad, your son.
He devours Greek potatoes. Like this with both hands, yes, he does. You know he does. Yeah. So anyway, that's why we're making a lot of potatoes today. Okay, let's go. So what we're doing is we got the potatoes, and what I did, we cut up these potatoes, and I used the yellow flesh like I'll be describing to you. All right, I've been cutting the potatoes, and I'm using yellow flesh potatoes, Yukon Golds. You can use any type of potato that you want, except the waxy ones like the red skin potatoes that are good for potato salad. They're not good for the baking for this. So I would suggest the yellow flesh or Yukon Golds like these, or a russet baking potato would be good for this. So since these potatoes were a little bit long instead of round like so many of them are, I've cut them lengthwise first and then just gone and chopped them. And as you can see, the potatoes are not big at all. You can cut them bigger, you can cut them any way you want. But since I've got about 8 pounds of potatoes here, I want to keep them small so they'll cook quicker. So that's the only reason I'm doing them this size right here. So that's done, and so I'll put them in the bowl over here and put them in cold water with some lemon juice in it to keep them nice and clean looking before I bake them. So we're using the fresh lemons just like they do in Greece. And so we're gonna let you do that and squeeze that juice in that bowl, and then we'll be doing some zesting on that stuff too.
I'll do it for free.
You do it for free. So anyway, here we go. We got the potatoes, and I'm gonna put them in this really big pan. This pan's 21 inches long. Usually I don't fix 8 pounds. I usually do like 5 pounds. And I do it in like a big lasagna pan. But you don't want them to stack up too much on each other. So if I see that that's gonna happen, I'm gonna put another pan out here. So anyway, what I did, I sprayed some olive oil in the pan on the sides and everywhere. Now it's gonna have oil in it, but I always spray down my pans anyway, just in case. So let me pour all these potatoes in there, hopefully. You know what, I might can get by with this. Normally I wouldn't stack them up this high, but we're gonna cook it a different way where I can steam it through before they get browned and baked. So maybe we'll be okay, I think so. When Miss Ava over here gets all those lemons squeezed up real good. Oh, look at that, you did a good job, look at that.
Looks like a yummy.
It does a little bit like a yummy.
Underneath my dress, my sleeves, huge muscles. Huge muscles. Oh, what if I just ate the last one?
You can't, because then I gotta get more lemons out.
Fair enough.
Okay. So anyway, I've got my good old trusty extra virgin olive oil here that I get from George Sarris's restaurant, the Fish Market, downtown Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna not measure this, because who measures this kind
I've
of
never
stuff?
measured anything.
I know. I'm only saying measurements because I love y'all and I want to help you, and I get comments where's the recipes and how much of this did you do. So I am trying to help you because I understand why you feel that way. And you haven't made something before and you need to know these things. So you see me shaking that olive oil in there. That's gonna be, I'm gonna put at least a cup and maybe a little more. But I'm gonna stop now because we're gonna put some of the seasonings in there. Now, I'll tell you what you can do right now. You can pop one of these and turn it into that, and you can zest that and put it in this bowl here. So anyway, so I'm not measuring this. There is, let's see how much this is in here. This is 32 ounces, which is 2 pounds. So I won't probably use it all, but I'm just gonna eyeball this. Can y'all see that here really good, what I'm doing? This is chicken stock, not broth. The stock is definitely stronger. It's in between bone broth and regular broth. This is right in the middle, and it's got a lot more flavor to it. So I want to make sure that these potatoes are going to steam some while they're cooking. So I'm using about half of the 32 ounces of that. It smells so good. Alrighty. So anyway, you want to get a spoon out of that drawer there, you can just kind of stir that up real quick. I'm going to put a little bit of my Greek sea salt on there. There is no measurement. I'm just putting it on there. And I would say that's probably close to a tablespoon of salt that I put in there. I'm going to put black pepper on this after I get it all in there. So what we're going to do is get me out of here. Never mind. I'm going to get a real proper measuring spoon so I can do correct. So I'm going to put a whole tablespoon. This is not garlic salt. This is garlic powder. I'm not doing fresh garlic in this dish, which I usually do, because as long as this has to cook, I'm afraid it might get overdone. So, and this has a real strong taste anyway. So, okay, so that was a tablespoon of granulated garlic. I didn't open that. It's brand new. Would you get that sharp knife and open that for me while I do some other things that have been already opened? My fault. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of cumin to this mixture here. You do not have to add cumin if you don't care for it. It's a very Middle Eastern thing. Oh, you did pop that sucker right on.
I sure did.
Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about half a tablespoon of cumin in there. And that's not a lot of cumin for that amount of potatoes. So anyway, so there we go. And I can always put a little bit more on there. But if you want to leave the cumin out, do. I love the smoky flavor. But it certainly is not mandatory. But there is a couple of things that are mandatory or it won't be Greek potatoes, and that is oregano.
And potatoes.
Yes, you did it. Okay.
I did watch the lid, by the way.
Oh, did you? Since it flopped on the floor,
I believe it flew onto the floor.
It flew. Oh, it didn't. Okay, no flopping, it flew. Okay, so I'm putting a tablespoon of onion powder in there too. You do not have to put onion powder in there. But let me tell you guys. Okay, so black pepper on here. Use the amount you want or leave it out. But I do recommend some on there. Okay, so we've got all these seasonings on there. Isn't that correct? Okay, so, all right, so we're gonna pour this in there. So we're gonna have to get another lemon. I don't taste the lemon.
It's sinking to the bottom.
Oh, is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're gonna do a bunch of zest in there. Okay, we did end up, after I taste tested it, and found it to be deficient of lemon. So we're squirting another whole big lemon on there. So that's a total of 5, but that's for 8 pounds of potatoes. So do the math. You know, when you do 5 pounds or 3 pounds of potatoes, lower those amounts. Okay, yep, both sides. There you go. Come. There you, oh, like a pro, girl. I love the way you swing that lemon thing. Okay, so anyway, we have added the juice of 1 more lemon. We definitely have to do zesting for this. So we're zesting how many lemons? You did 1 already or just 1 side?
I think I just did 1.
1 lemon. Okay, so yeah, we definitely need some more zest. And so you can whack that thing on there now and you can make more room for more zest. All right, so let me stir that up a little bit. And I know this is ridiculous to do this with a tablespoon, this big old pan, but honestly, I don't want to mess up another big old spoon. You see this ring here? Can you see that ring? Does the camera see that ring? You see that beautiful ruby and diamond ring? My ladies, you know, the last time, I'm gonna cry, I've gotta be careful. The last time I had a ladies meeting for my girls there, they gave me 2 dozen long stem red roses in this gorgeous bouquet, total surprise. And I didn't notice it until somebody called my attention to it, that on a red ribbon, on the end of those roses, was this gorgeous ruby, gold ruby and diamond ring, and they gave that to me. And I wanted you ladies who were a part of that to see I was still, after all these years, I'm still wearing your ring. And I think about y'all all the time. And I love you and I miss you. All right, let's go. We're gonna put just a wee bit more. I see that it needs a little bit more oregano. And we're gonna sprinkle a little bit more oregano on here because it needs to look greener. So, and I'm not measuring, I'm just covering the top. You see that? Just covering the top. Okay. All right, so I'll stir it a wee bit. You know what I'm gonna do? This is quicker. Let's get these things off. I just washed my hands, I promise. I haven't done anything except mess with food since then, so we're good. So I'm gonna do this. This is the way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, if you don't have a convection oven, you want to put it on 400 to 425 in the beginning and start getting these potatoes cooked. And then, but I've got my convection oven, I've got it on 375 degrees Fahrenheit because, you know, the variation is about 25 degrees from convection to a regular oven. So anyway, so we'll get that in there. We're going to poke a couple of holes with this very sharp knife. Not many. Just a wee bit. Watch your beautiful fingers. Watch your beautiful fingers. Now, there we go. We're done. All right. All right, Ava, you want to put that in the oven for me? Mm-hmm. All righty.
Can you open the oven?
No.
How was everybody's weekend? I went to
Come
church
on,
today.
All right, let's go. We're getting in there. Let it go. We're not done with
Yes, we are.
this. No. Okay, now for the Alabama white sauce. We're waiting on the potatoes to get ready. So while we're waiting, we're going to make the Alabama white sauce. And let me say that there's a lot of versions of Alabama white sauce, just like there is anything that you cook. Everybody's got their little favorite things they use, and the things they don't care for too much they'll remove. And that's all okay, and that's fine. This is the version that I like the best, and this is the one that I've been making for a long time. So I'm taking good quality mayonnaise. I use either Hellmann's or Duke's. I would use Duke's if I had it, but I'm out, so I've got Hellmann's. But you know, you don't have to use what I use. I just find it, to me, this is the ones that taste the best. So I'm gonna go ahead and put two full cups of the mayo in here real quick, and then we'll go on over to the other liquid ingredients before we hit the dry ingredients. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get all this out when your spatula is a little bit bigger than maybe the opening of your container there. Okay, so that was the 2 cups of mayonnaise. This next is going to be, I use the Bragg apple cider vinegar with the mother, but you use whatever apple cider vinegar that you have. And this is 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar added to that. All right, the next thing we're going to have is, I'm going to read this so we'll pronounce right. Worcestershire sauce. We say Worcestershire sauce. So anyway, so we're only going to put 1.5 teaspoons of that in here to the liquid ingredients. And the next liquid ingredients is some hot sauce, any brand, Frank's or Louisiana or whatever brand you like. There's only 1/2 of a teaspoon of the hot sauce added to this. This is something, if you really like yours a lot hotter, feel free to add all you want in there. That's all I use, those 1/2. Okay, some people put a little bit of mustard and then some horseradish. So what I do, I just mix it together. So any brand you want to use in any kind of horseradish or not, or mustard or not. But I like horseradish mustard in mine. If I don't use that, I'll use a whole grain, where you see the little mustard seeds almost in there. I'll use that with maybe just a spoon of horseradish sauce in there. But anyway, so this is a mix of the two, so I won't need to add any separate. All right, get that out of the way, and here we go with sour cream. Some people don't use sour cream, and I don't use very much for this amount. I'm only using 2 tablespoons of sour cream. 2 tablespoons of sour cream goes in there. All right, the next thing that I'm going to add in there is granulated garlic. This is not garlic salt, it's granulated garlic. And it's 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic that goes in there. Also the same thing for onion powder. This is not onion salt, it's onion powder or granulated onion. And it's also 1 teaspoon of the onion powder in there. All right, so for salt, I'm using sea salt. Whatever salt you've got is fine. And I'm using 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, the next thing is pepper. And we're also using a teaspoon of pepper. Now, some people put a whole lot more pepper in there. It burns my mouth where I don't taste anything if I put too much of that in there. So that's why I don't. But you certainly can. And the last thing is 1.5 teaspoons of honey, any kind of honey you've got. So that's 1.5 teaspoons of honey for my last ingredient. And then I'm going to get a whisk and whisk that up. And that'll be it. We'll put it in a jar, shake it up. And honestly, this does not need to sit. You know, like a lot of things we make, it has to sit a little while for all the flavors to marry well together. But this is one of those things you really don't have to. But I will say, this will keep at least a couple of weeks in your fridge. This is kind of like Southern tzatziki. You know, I use this for dipping a lot. Love it on chicken. It's really good on any kind of chicken. It's really good on pork, barbecue, whatever, but it's really great on even French fries. You could make the Alabama version of the Quebecois poutine French fries. Instead of a brown gravy, you could use the Alabama white sauce on that instead on top of your fries, and season them real well with cheese curds and things and some Alabama white sauce, and it's delicious. It's really, really good. Okay, so that's done. So the next thing is that we're going to put it in a jar and shake it up. All right, then I'm going to put the lid on there and give it a really good shake. There we go. That looks perfectly mixed. So that's done. And like I said, this will last 2 or 3 weeks, 3 weeks at the most, in a cold refrigerator, if it lasts that long, because you might just get addicted to this sauce here. All right, we are done with the potatoes. The Greek potatoes are ready now. I've got fried chicken here, our white sauce that we made here, and I poured some in my little briki, a little Greek coffee pot to pour it with. And I also cheated and pulled out some Bucky's barbecue sauce just in case some of my friends and family prefers barbecue sauce over white sauce, in case. So there we go. This is it. I hope you will try these. These are really, really easy to do. And thank you for watching. And please join us again next week for something else. I don't know what it'll be yet, but it'll be something good. Please like, share, and follow if you don't mind. And the recipe for the two things will definitely be in the remarks or comments toward the end. So anyway, thank you very much. Y'all says y'all. Bye-bye.